Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where we dive into the lives of incredible people who've shaped our world. Today, I'm taking you on a roller coaster ride through the life of Dmitri Shostakovich, this brilliant Russian composer who stared death in the face under Stalin's iron fist and came out swinging with music that still shakes us to the core. Imagine this, it's January 1936 and Shostakovich is at the peak of his fame. His opera Lady Macbeth of the Mtsensk district, which premiered back in 1934, is packing theaters night after night. But then Stalin himself shows up one evening to watch it. The dictator sits there, stone-faced, and leaves early. Just days later, on January 28th, a scathing article in the official newspaper Pravda blasts his work as muddle instead of music, chaotic, vulgar, a total threat to Soviet ideals. Shostakovich turns white as a ghost reading it. His friends start vanishing into the night. His income plummets overnight. He packs a small suitcase with essentials, fully expecting the secret police to drag him away at midnight. He even starts sleeping on the stairwell outside his apartment to spare his family the horror of witnessing his arrest. Can you feel that terror, that heart-pounding dread of the unknown? That's where our story begins. A man caught in the storm of tyranny, fighting to survive through his art, turning personal pain into powerful symphonies that echo his defiance. Born in St. Petersburg on September 25, 1906, little Dmitri was a musical prodigy from the get-go. His father was a chemical engineer and amateur singer, while his mother was a skilled pianist who spotted his gift early on. By the age of 9, he's already taking piano lessons from her and composing his first simple pieces, like a funeral march inspired by the turmoil around him. The Russian Revolution erupts in 1917, when he's just 11. Streets filled with chaos, food shortages, civil war raging. Families like his struggle, but music becomes his safe haven, a way to escape the madness. At 13 in 1919, he joins the Petrograd Conservatory, studying under legends like Alexander Glazunov for composition and Leonid Nikolaev for piano. He's a skinny, nervous kid, but incredibly talented, soaking up influences from Bach to Beethoven. By 1926, at just 19, his first symphony premieres to massive acclaim. Critics go wild. It's got that fresh, youthful energy, blending traditional classical forms with bold modern twists. Echoes of Stravinsky and Prokofiev. Suddenly, he's the rising star of Soviet music. Performances roll in from Berlin to New York. He's living the dream, experimenting with edgy, innovative sounds that push boundaries. But here's the real drama. The Soviet Union under Stalin isn't about artistic freedom. It's about total control. By the late 1920s, artists must toe the party line, create music that's simple, uplifting, heroic for the masses, no weird abstract stuff. Shostakovich tries to navigate this, but his heart is in bold innovation. He writes The Nose in 1929, a wild satirical opera based on Gogol's absurd story, full of dissonance, humor, and chaos. Some audiences love it for its freshness, others are baffled. Then comes Lady Macbeth of the Mtsensk district in 1934, a greedy, passionate tale of a woman driven to murder for love and power. It's raw, emotional, with steamy scenes and brutal honesty about human flaws. For 2 years, it's a smash hit across the USSR. But Stalin's 1936 visit changes everything. That Pravda attack isn't just criticism. It's a potential death sentence. During the Great Terror, his patron Marshal Mikhail Tukhachevsky is executed in 1937. His mother-in-law is arrested, relatives disappear into the gulags. Shostakovich himself is interrogated, but miraculously his interrogator gets purged first. What a narrow escape. In fear, he withdraws his Fourth Symphony in December 1936. It's too dark, too risky, and hides it away until its premiere in 1961. Crushed but unbreakable, Shostakovich fights back the only way he knows how, through his music. His Fifth Symphony premieres in November 1937, subtitled A Soviet Artist's Reply to Just Criticism. It's somber and intense at first, building to a triumphant finale that seems to celebrate Soviet strength. The Leningrad audience erupts in a 40-minute standing ovation, many in tears. Even officials approve on the surface, but if you listen closely, there's hidden sarcasm, coded messages of rebellion beneath the grandeur. That's pure Shostakovich, outward compliance masking deep inner defiance. As World War II hits, more heartbreak follows. The siege of Leningrad begins in 1941, bombs falling, starvation claiming thousands. Shostakovich volunteers as a firefighter on the conservatory roof, composing his Seventh Symphony, the Leningrad, amid the rubble. Evacuated in October 1941, he finishes it in a freezing room elsewhere. Broadcast live during the siege in August 1942, it becomes a global symbol of resistance against the Nazis. Orchestras in London and New York play it to cheering crowds. But personally, he's drained, haunted by the losses around him. After the war, the nightmare cycles back. In 1948, under the Zhdanov decree, Shostakovich is branded a formalist. His music too Western, too elite, not for the people. He's fired from his teaching jobs at the Moscow and Leningrad conservatories. His works banned from performance. To survive financially, he turns to composing film scores, even fluffy propaganda pieces, while secretly pouring his true emotions into private desk drawer works, like his first violin concerto and the song Cycle from Jewish folk poetry. These hidden gems ache with personal pain and subtle protest. Then Stalin dies on March 5, 1953. A massive relief washes over the artistic world. Shostakovich unleashes his 10th Symphony later that year, weaving in personal motifs like the DSCH theme, his musical initials D, E flat, C, B. Some hear it as a portrait of the tyrant himself, mocking, fierce, finally free. His later works grow even bolder. The 13th Symphony in 1962 sets poems about the Baby Yar massacre, tackling anti-Semitism head-on. It's controversial, performed only once before being suppressed. The 14th Symphony from 1969 is a grim song cycle meditating on death, almost like a musical farewell. Now, let's talk about his incredible musical achievements that cemented him as one of the 20th century's giants. Over his lifetime, Shostakovich composed 15 symphonies. That's a massive feat, each one an emotional powerhouse blending classical traditions with modern intensity. He also wrote 15 string quartets, intimate and profound, often more personal than his grand symphonies. Add to that 6 concertos, 2 each for piano, violin and cello, plus operas, ballets, chamber music like his piano quintet and 2 piano trios, and even 36 film scores. His style, a mix of irony, tragedy and heroism influenced by Mahler and Bach. He won the Stalin Prize multiple times, ironically, the Lenin Prize, and international honors like an honorary doctorate from Oxford in 1958. His music revolutionized how composers expressed inner conflict under oppression, using codes and subtext to critique without direct words. Famous works? Start with the Fifth Symphony, that epic journey from despair to forced triumph. The 7th, the Leningrad, with its invading march theme symbolizing war horror. The 8th Symphony from 1943, a wartime cry of anguish. His 10th, post-Stalin freedom. The string quartet number 8 in 1960, written in just 3 days during a trip to Dresden, dedicated to the victims of fascism and war. It's like a musical autobiography quoting his own themes in a scream of inner turmoil. Don't miss the Piano Concerto No. 2 from 1957, light and joyful, written as a birthday gift for his son. Or the Cello Concerto No. 1, premiered by Rostropovich in 1959, full of energy and wit. And his 24 preludes and fugues for piano from 1950-51, a nod to Bach, but infused with Russian soul and modern edge. These pieces aren't just technical marvels, they capture the human spirit, tragic, heroic, utterly moving. Health-wise, it was a tough road too. In the late 1950s, around 1958, he starts noticing weakness in his right hand, later diagnosed as a polio-like condition in 1965 that forces him to give up playing piano publicly. Heart attacks hit in 1966, then again in 1970 and 1971. He breaks both legs in falls, battles lung cancer diagnosed in 1973. Yet, through it all, he keeps creating, right up to his 15th Symphony in 1971 and his final viola sonata in 1975. By the 1970s, he's frail but revered worldwide. He tours the West, receives that Oxford honor, and becomes a symbol of artistic resilience. He passes away on August 9, 1975, at 68, from heart failure complicated by lung cancer, leaving a legacy that's still hotly debated. Was he a loyal communist or a secret dissident? Books like Testimony, published in 1979 as his memoirs, claim he hid anti-regime messages in his scores, but scholars argue over its authenticity. One thing's undeniable: his music outsmarted a regime that crushed millions, turning fear and suffering into art that inspires generations. Shostakovich's music isn't just notes on a page, it's raw emotion, a mirror to the soul under pressure. His symphonies roar like storms. His quartets whisper deep grief and quiet rebellion. Listen to his Fifth, feel the struggle, the bittersweet victory, or the Eighth Quartet. It's heartbreaking, personal. It's timeless stuff that grabs you by the heart. What do you think of these vlogs, folks? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Did Shostakovich's story move you? What's your favorite piece of his music? Is it one of the symphonies, a quartet, or something else? What other composers or historical figures should I cover next? Your suggestions and comments keep this channel going. Like, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation alive. Cheers!